Good damn evening, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. I figured I should do a second video today because we're going out of town. We're going to visit my mom and my stepdad. It's going to be great. They live on the other side of Fresno, where it happens to be hot as shit, but they have a pool, so the kids will run themselves ragged in that pool all day. I got a couple tomahawk ribeyes. I'll talk guns with my stepdad, talk some political shit with my mom. It's going to be great. Get out of town a little bit, and there's more conservatives up that way. See, when you're here in this liberal taint, you think that that's all there is. You think that there's no hope. But it's nice to go there, visit my parents, get a recharge in more ways than one, and know that we are not alone. They live in what's called the Central Valley. If you're sitting there with a bowl of walnuts, almonds, they grow stone fruit, any kind of stone fruit, peaches, nectarines, avocados. Look in your crisper, look in your pantry, and I guarantee you something came from the Central Valley. Anyway, so that's why I'm doing this video, because I probably won't be doing for the next couple of days. We're going to stay the night there, blah, blah, blah. But a couple things that came across my radar. A buddy of mine sent me one of them, and another one I saw my wife watching. So I'll start with that one. So it's a video, right? And it's this little girl, this little black girl, and there's a white cop kneeling next to her. The only reason I'm saying they're racist is because it's relevant to the story. I can't stand when people say, white cops, black person, white... What does that have to do with anything? What the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Why are you telling me that? Anyway, it's a video. This little girl's crying. She's scared. She's trembling. And this cop, he kneels down and she's at a protest. Look, I don't agree that children should be at protests, especially if it's something like this, something of this magnitude, something this serious, something this adult, something this potentially dangerous. Don't act like these fools are out here singing Kumbaya, holding hands and shit, and nothing's happening, and everybody's picking their fucking trash up, even at the protests. I don't believe kids should be at protests for shit like that. Just like the parents who bring their kids to these, whatever women's marches and shit wearing the pussy hats, that's disgusting. Now, if it's some school shit, take the kids, because that directly affects them. And that's a little more their speed. But shit like this, no. Leave the kids at home to avoid moments like I'm about to tell you. So this little girl is scared. The cop kneels down and is talking to her, telling her, little girl, you don't have to be afraid of me. I'm a police officer. I'm here to protect you. She says, no. I'm paraphrasing. She says, no, you're white. You're bad. Now, where the fuck did that girl learn that? Don't you tell me that racism isn't taught. Because every time you see some shit that racism is learned, you're not born that way. There's always some white person there, like they have a monopoly on teaching their kids racism. That's bullshit. Obviously, somebody's been telling this girl, and maybe not telling her directly, maybe not telling her, honey, you know white people are bad, but probably hearing them talk to other adults. And in other situations, she learned that I'm supposed to fear white people, especially white cops, at 5 years old. I've said this before. Part of your job as a parent when it comes to protecting your child is not only protecting them physically, but protecting their innocence. Why the fuck is your kid dealing with heavy ass shit like this? Why is she at a protest? Jericho, maybe she couldn't find daycare. Well, maybe your fucking mama shouldn't have went. Why is this little girl there? Why is her mind being poisoned? And there's no way you can convince me otherwise, because I've lived it. I've seen it. Children are taught this shit. My first day of school, first grade, September 2nd. Remember when we used to go, or was it September 2nd, maybe the 3rd or the 4th? But remember when we used to go back to school after Labor Day? Not this August bullshit. First day of school, let's say September 3rd, 1986. My soon-to-be best friend, David, what's up, Dave? Came up to me and said, do you want to be my friend? He's white, I'm black. That never even crossed our minds. He saw a kid that he thought would be cool. I thought he was cool. Let's do this. We were best friends all through elementary school. We got ass whoopings together. We got in trouble together. We have fun together. All the way through high school and beyond. So don't tell me that shit that people are born racist. They're taught that. Are you telling me that white people are the only people who can teach their kids racism? Are you saying white people are better than us? Are you saying that black people can't teach their racism too? You see how stupid this shit sounds? This poor little girl, and this reminds me of a video I saw, Gavin McInnes. He was doing a little video on black parents having the talk with their kids. You know, when you get pulled over with the cops, this is how you're supposed to act. And one of the clips was his father. You stupid son of a bitch. He's telling his daughter about some time that he got fucked with by the cops, and she starts crying because she's sad. He's telling her, oh, I got tased and they busted my lip. She starts crying because it makes her sad to hear about her daddy being hurt. Why would you tell her that? Why would you put this weight on your children's shoulders? And when it's time to have the talk, guess what? Guess who should be having the talk with their kids? Guess who should be telling their kids how to act when you're pulled over by the police? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, everyone. You pull your kid aside and say, look, when the cops approach your vehicle, yes, sir, no, sir, registration, license, whatever the fuck else they ask for. And if they're mean to you and they treat you bad, you get their name, badge number, and bring your ass home. You don't hold court in the street. You take that badge number and that name, you go down to the police department, and you proceed accordingly. File a complaint, whatever. You do it right. You don't pop off. You don't have attitude. Oh, you pulling me over because I'm black? Now we got a problem because you got attitude. You should YouTube that video, how to not get your ass whooped by the police. Chris Rock. Hilarious. That video shows you how to act, how not to act. Everybody needs to have that talk with their kid when they start driving. Because everybody should be respectful to law enforcement until it's time not to. You take that shit. You take whatever they're giving you, the names they're calling you, how they're treating you, they're being rough, whatever. Get some information, bring your ass home, we'll handle it. Why are you shoving these adult problems on these children? And why is that little girl at a protest? Some shit pops off, she gets hurt, that's your fault. That's an adult environment. The vibe, the language, the content, the content, the subject matter. It's above their head. Leave them out of it. The second one, even worse. And I posted a picture of this on my YouTube page under community and my Facebook page under Jericho Green. It's a picture of people in North Carolina, I think it was Cary, North Carolina, at a protest. And there's white police officers. Again, I only say it because it's relevant to the story. White police officers and other white folk, heavy with liberal guilt, heavy with white liberal guilt. They're on their knees and they're washing the feet of black protest organizers. Say that one more time. These white police officers and other white folk, all adults, are washing the feet of black protest organizers. Get the fuck out of here with that. What are you talking about? You're on your knees washing some stranger's feet? I'll wash my kids' feet. I'll wash my wife's feet. Other than that, get the fuck out of here. All right? And worse than the people washing the feet, how are you going to sit there and let somebody wash your feet? Are you crazy? Get away from me. If you don't get the fuck away from me, I'm going to make you drink all the water in that bucket. And I'm going to take that rag or that sponge or whatever you got, and I'm going to put it all the way inside of your anus. Get away from me. You ain't washing my damn feet. Don't treat me how you wouldn't treat anybody else. I don't see nobody else out here getting their damn feet. What the fuck? Oh, no. That is the mentality of these crazy bastards. You're gonna wash for what? And it says they made them wash their feet and made them apologize and ask for forgiveness for what? Slavery? Well, let's see. People lie, numbers don't. Only 5% of white folk own slaves. So that means 95% didn't. So that means the chances of you coming across the relative of a slave owner is pretty fucking slim. And while we're being fair, equality, right? You can't just, equality's not a buffet. You don't take here, ooh, I like that, ooh, fuck that, I like, no. Equality is equality. So let's be equal. White people weren't the only ones who owned slaves. I know. I'll give you a second to pick your job off the floor. Black people had slaves. White people had slaves. Indians had slaves. Native Americans, whatever. When I drive up north, all the billboards for the casino say India Casino. Indians had them. Asian, Chinese had them. What the fuck? White people did not have a monopoly on slavery. You want to know who's the real boss of the slave trade? Who's the top dog? Talk to the Arabs. It's still happening now. But we don't want to protest that shit. Anyway, these fucking people, these adults are washing somebody's feet. That's not right. Equality, remember? Let's be equal. Let's be fair. You're not asking for forgiveness. You're getting revenge. You're getting payback. Yeah, get out and wash my feet, you white motherfucker. No, that's not how shit gets done. At some point, these black folks who keep churning this shit, who keep stirring all this shit around, need to stop, forgive, and move the fuck on. Because if we don't, it's never going to get solved. And that's not sweeping it under the rug. That's saying enough. You're making it fucking awkward out here. All right? Not all black folks buy into this bullshit. The reason I don't buy into it is because my parents didn't buy into it, and they didn't teach me that shit. They didn't poison the well of my mind. You fuck up, that's your problem. You succeed, that's your success. Goes both ways. Man, when my buddy, when I saw that shit, somebody, now I'm not promoting assaulting police officers, but somebody should have stepped out of that crowd. Hopefully a dad took his belt off in one move. My dad could do that. My dad could take his belt off, have that shit folded in half, ready for action in the blink of an eye. He should have pulled his belt off and started whooping ass. Get your fucking ass up. What are you doing? Washing their damn feet. What kind of crazy shit is this? And like I said in my video earlier, reparations are next. Once they get away with this defund the police shit, once all these guilt-ridden liberals' dicks are still hard because they took a fucking social Viagra pill and they can't get rid of that boner, I gotta do something else for black people. We defunded the cops, we protested, we tore up the cities, but this thing is still hard enough to cut diamonds. I gotta do something else. What's that? Reparations? Okay, we can do that. Crazier things have happened. So if you give all my people who have more than one kid, tell me what would happen if you walked in the room with some candy and only gave one kid some candy and left the room. Your other kids are going to turn to that kid and say, you better give me some of that candy. And when they don't, how do you think the other kids are going to feel about the kid who got the candy? Because with kids, it's 50-50. If one gets one, the other gets one. If one gets a popsicle, the other one gets a popsicle. So if one gets reparations, you think everybody else is going to be like, yeah, that's fair. All right, guys, let's get back to life, shall we? Nope. That shit builds animosity. So you're trying to take the heat off of a group and you're going to put more heat on them. That shit is stupid. But it's next. Once they do this police shit, that's how this story is going to end. That's how this bullshit protest for George Floyd shit is going to end. Tony Timpa. That's all I got to say. Look his name up. The same exact thing happened to him that happened to George Floyd. You ain't even heard his fucking name. And through no fault of your own. Nothing happened. It's bullshit. I can't take this bullshit serious. You're telling me police brutality, something needs to happen? The justice system is reactive, not proactive. It's not the fucking Minority Report. If something happens, you pay the price. That cop killed that man. Those other 3 fuckers sat there and watched it. Guess who's being charged? Guess who's in jail right now? So what the fuck are you doing out in the street? Man, please. I got to get to bed at a decent hour. Rise and shine. Hit the road. The early bird gets the worm, but the hawk gets the bird. People, you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit liberal cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone, fanatictones.com. Link in the description box. Help your boy stay independent. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.